Hey everyone, that UK Gamer here with something a bit different, just something a bit fun and something which I realise may not appeal to everyone, but from a personal point of view is massive, and I'm sure will be to some of the people who watch this. So I'd just like to say thank you to all those subscribers and the reaction to the 250 subscriber thank you, much appreciated it. But as I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video and the thumbnail, if I can come up with a good one, these are my personal Premier League table predictions, where I'll be predicting obviously which team comes in which position at the end of the season next May after 38 games each. Remember, this is my opinion. I'll probably be wrong, but I would love to hear what you think. Partly where you think I've gone wrong, or what you personally think will happen. Obviously, you don't have to list all 20 teams because your comment would be stupidly long. I appreciate that. Or maybe at least let me know who you think will win the league and maybe get relegated. I'm intrigued to see what everyone else thinks. But yeah, as you can tell, and I'm sure you probably know from watching my videos, football is a big part of my life. I love my Man United. They're one of the most special things to me. I've been for coming up to 30 years now. Seriously, I have a scarf from the 93-94 league season with my name on it, so I've been wearing their kit since I was about 6. So yeah. And I'm sure there'll be some banter about me being from the Southampton Man United, so I'll just put it out there first because, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be doing this in reverse order, so you'll find out who I think will get relegated first. I'll just give a quick note on why I think that team's there. I don't want the video to go on for too long. But let's get into it. What I predict the final Premier League table will be next May. So we will start from the bottom in 20th place, the worst team of all over the season. And it's a team which I think is very used to finishing near the bottom, or if not bottom now. And that is Norwich City. I think they've been very West Brom-like in that they've been bouncing back and forth between the Premier League, the Championship, good enough to win the Championship, nowhere near good enough to survive in the Premier League, and I think it'll be a repeat of that. They've lost one of their key players in Buendia. I've seen they sign some players. Gilmore's a good signing, but overall, I don't think they're Premier League standards yet. So 20th, Norwich. In 19th, we have another promoted team in Watford, who, well, have followed Norwich for the last couple of seasons. Got relegated 2 seasons ago, got promoted season just now, and have literally been in Premier League, Championship, Premier League back to back, and I expect both teams to go straight back to the Championship. They're well known for changing managers every few months. I think it will happen again. Credit to the current manager, Xisco Munoz. If he doesn't, he'll have done a good job. They have some good players like Ben Foster and Troy Deeney, so I think they have more chance of surviving than Norwich, but I don't think they have enough to survive, and I think they will go back down. So 19th, Watford. In 18th, and the last team to get relegated, I've gone Burnley. I think for a lot of the season last year, they were scraping with relegation, just surviving. Sean Dyche has done a very good job there, and has actually brought in a couple of players. I'm not fully sure who's I've got in my head. I know they signed Nathan Collins, who's a highly rated young defender from Stoke. I'm sure I saw some of the big teams linked with him. I think United were. So if he plays, he could do a good job in their defence, because Tarkowski and me are starting to get on. But I think they're still lacking the attacking department, and I think that's what's really going to cost them. And I think this is one season too far for Burnley. So Burnley, 18th. In 17th and barely surviving, I think it's going to be Brentford. I think Brentford will survive. I think they'll have that surprise factor that we've seen a lot lately. We had it with Sheffield United 2 seasons ago, etc. They've got some very good players. I think Asia from Celtic is a good signing for them. Potentially follow the Van Dijk site, going from Celtic to the Premier League, but I don't think it's his quality, obviously. They also have Ivan Toney, who has done very well the last couple of seasons, and I think will get a good few goals. But I think that maybe they need more players with Premier League experience. But at the same time, having a team of unknowns, I think will provide that shock factor. And to be honest, I reckon they're going to get at least a draw against Arsenal in the opening game tonight. So chances are my prediction is going to be wrong in a few hours' time. But yeah, I think they'll survive, but just. So Brentford, 17th. 16th is another team we'll be making it 3 in a row, and that is Brighton, who have been perennial strugglers in the Premier League. Surviving, but not by much. And I think, again, scoring goals is going to be a problem for them. If Mopé can play as he did when he was at Brentford, I could see them staying up. They obviously don't have Glenn Murray anymore. And they've lost Ben White in defence, which is going to be a big thing for them. So I could see them struggling at both ends of the pitch. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were the ones who were relegated instead of Burnley. But I think they have a very good manager. I don't think Sean Dyche isn't, because he is. But I think they play exciting football. And if they can just put the ball in the net, they get so many good chances. And of course, there's still time till the end of the transfer window. At which point I may do an update table based on signings bought in between now and then. Then I think Brighton will survive, but just. So I'm going with Brighton to stay up in 16th. 15th, staying on the south coast. And I'm sure Coop as well is going to love me for this. Southampton. I think they will stay up, but they really could do without going 3 seasons with a 9-0 thrashing. So don't really want to make that a hat-trick. Although if they do, I hope it's United again. Yeah. Have some good players. Ward-Prowse, for example. But they have lost Danny Ings, who's one of their main top strikers. Although they have replaced him with Adam Armstrong, one or the other, from Blackburn. Who I think could do well for them. But I think there's not enough to do any push towards the top half at all. And I think they will survive. I think they'll survive a bit more safely than Brighton, etc. But it won't be easy. And I think goals could be a problem if Armstrong does not get going and adapt to the Premier League quick enough. So I am predicting Southampton to finish in 15th. In 14th, I've gone for Wolves. Everyone thought they were going to be doing really well. They had 2 7th place finishes in a row. Played some European matches. But then it's just gone downhill from then. I think losing Diogo Jota was a big struggle for them. There's talk Neves could leave as well, which I think would really hurt them. Rui Patricio's gone, although his replacement is Jose Sarr. I believe he's also a pretty good keeper. Whether he's Patricio standard, I don't know. So there could be issues there. They still have a good team. They have a manager who's new to the Premier League, which could hurt them in terms of lack of experience, but at the same time could present as a shock to the league, a surprise. So I don't think they'll be in danger of going down, but I don't think they'll be pushing for the top half either. So Wolves in 14th. 13th, I've gone for Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. I think Patrick Vieira could be the big problem with Palace this season. He hasn't had loads of managerial experience. He managed Leeds for a bit. I think he did well in his first season and then appalling in his second, got sacked. He did okay in America, but to be honest, the MSL isn't the strongest league. And he won't have the resources he had there probably in terms of having any connections to Manchester City. Although being a big name himself in terms of football might be able to bring big players in. They do have good players, of course, at the club already, in Zaha, Benteke, etc. So I think Palace will be safe. They seem to be there. I could see them maybe doing a bit worse than they were under Roy Hodgson. So I think they might get less points than they had before, but I still think that they'll finish 13th. And I think Zaha and Benteke are going to have better seasons than they did last season, especially Benteke. So Crystal Palace, 13th. In 12th, I've gone for the Magpies, Newcastle United. Newcastle seem to have been a team that have underperformed for the last few years. I think with some of the players they had, I think people expected more. Joe Linton, to be fair, I think it's been a flop. He cost 40 million and what they got out of him. There's some really good signings though. Callum Wilson last season, as long as he can stay fit. St. Maximin. If they do complete the Joe Willock signing, I think that's a very good signing after what he showed he could do after he signed on loan. And Steve Bruce, I think, I know he's underappreciated, but I think he's proved that he can keep teams in the Premier League. And I think as long as he doesn't lose his place, I think he lost a couple of big players for a good while last season, such as Sam Maximan, then I think Newcastle will survive fairly so easily. Not quite enough for the top half, but getting there. But they definitely need more signings. But I've got Newcastle in 12th. And to finish off the bottom half in 11th, I've gone for West Ham. I think they had a very good season last year. I don't think anyone saw that coming. But I'm not convinced they can hold off and do it another season. I think Declan Rice will stay there this summer. But if he does go, but I think if he does a bit more next summer, then they'll have way more problems, I think. I think they haven't really signed much, although I think they're after, is it Milenkovic from Fiorentina, who I think is supposed to be a pretty good defender. So if they can do that, short up their defence, that will also be a big help. Because obviously it's considered free against Tottenham, although they managed to put it back last season, so kudos to them. But I think West Ham needs something else, and I think they might just miss out on the top half. Although I think it'll be another solid display from them and David Moyes. So, West Ham in 11th. And now, the top half. Starting off with 10th, I've gone for Everton under Rafael Benitez. I think he could be a astute signing as manager. He's got the experience, he's won trophies, he knows what he's doing. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play over the year, given his ex-management of Liverpool. I know some Everton fans are angry, some are actually happy with him. I think he's done well signing-wise, considering he spent less than £2 million and he's brought in Demarai Gray, who did do well at Leicester, maybe underwhelmed at times, but he did generally do well and show a lot of potential. Maybe just needs someone else to bring it out. And Josh Townsend, who I think on a free signing is really a decent choice. I mean, they've lost Walcott, so they need another signing. He's still 30, so he's got experience and isn't actually as old as some people might think. I think he could do a good job on a free. And also Begovic. That's a really good backup keeper there. On a free. I think they need more. They need more up top. Calvert-Lewin is really good, but then after that, I don't think they really have much. I don't think we'll see much of James Rodriguez, because I think he's pretty much admitted it was because of Ancelotti. So I'm not saying he'll sulk, but I don't think he'll hit the heights that he did at times last season. So I think Everton will just about make the top half, but only just in 10th. And I'm sure my brother will be really happy with that. Probably not. 9th is Aston Villa. I think they've had one of the best windows out of all the clubs this summer so far. Buendia, I think, is a great signing from Villa, especially now they've lost Jack Grealish. And if they can make use of that money wisely, unlike when Tottenham sold Gareth Bale, I think that will help as well. Danny Ings is going to give them much needed support up top. I think Ashley Young will help secure the defence and provide a lot of leadership in the changing room. I'm sure he used to be like the changing room DJ at Man United when he was there. So I'm sure he'll be good at that, especially after his experiences at Inter Milan. So I think Villa will definitely be in the top half. Not quite pushing for Europe yet, but I think they'll be getting close. So I'm going Aston Villa 9th. And 8th, I've gone for our opening opponents, Leeds United. I think everyone actually started to enjoy Leeds to an extent last season with their attacking play. It was brave, potentially, of Bielsa to come up to the Premier League and then just play attacking football like he did. And obviously it did backfire at times. I mean, their results were all over the place. Losing 4-3 to Liverpool, I think, in their opening match. Losing 6-2 at Old Trafford. But then they also, I think, didn't lose to any of the top teams. The top 6 at home, I think. And if they can shore up some of their team, like, I think defence does need a bit of work. I know they've lost a couple of players. I think that will help as well. Although I do think they have worked towards that by signing Junior Firpo from Barcelona. I believe he's a right back, and I've heard very good things, A, about him, and B, that he started off well at Leeds. Maybe needs something else at top to help support Patrick Bamford. But I think Leeds are going to have a really good season. I just hope it starts from their second game in, whoever that may be. Okay, 7th. So I have gone for Tottenham Hotspur. I think they've done a good signing in Christian Romero at defence. I think Alderweireld's either gone or going, and he was always going to be a hard job to replace. So I think they've done well getting Christian Romero from Atalanta. I think, though, if they lose Harry Kane, that is going to hurt them. They will need to get a new striker in, but they're going to be limited on time. I don't think money will be such an issue, but it's going to be hard to find someone who can come in and do a job even close to his. I think that's going to be the issue there. If they keep Harry Kane, then I could see them getting 5th, 6th. I think they won't. I think they're going to lose him. And even if they don't, there's still something in my head telling me they won't get 5th or 6th. I don't think they'll get the top 4 this season, regardless. Also, I'm intrigued to see how the new manager, Nuno Espirito Santo? I can never remember his name. How he does at Tottenham compared to Wolves, where he came in almost as an unknown to the Premier League. People know about him now, and it's not the team that he built. Although I could see Matt Doherty getting a few games, having been his old manager at Wolves. But overall, I think Tottenham are going to make Europe. Or if they don't, they're only just going to miss out. But I don't think they've got enough to get in the top 4. And especially if Harry Kane goes. So Tottenham Hotspur, 7th. Okay, 6th. I've gone for Arsenal. I think Ben White is a good signing for Arsenal. He's young. They need help in defence. I think that much was obvious. And, I mean, I'm not saying they're getting to levels when it's Keown and Dixon and Adams, etc. But I think they're starting to build towards it. Like, having young-ish British defenders. Callum Chambers is still there. Rob Holding. Now Ben White. Kieran Tierney. And, of course, I think they're after Aaron Ramsdale, who's good as an English keeper. So it's definitely going away from the Wenger and Emery periods, especially the later Wenger. I think White will shore up their defence. I think they still need more at the top. So I know they want James Maddison apparently. He would be a very good signing for them, I think. But I still think they need a striker. So I think Arsenal are going to be more secure defensively. I think they will have enough up top, especially if Saka can play like he did at the Euros. And they keep Aubameyang and Lacazette. And they obviously perform. So I think they will outdo Tottenham. And I think it'll be the first time in a few years now. And I know some people will be very happy if they do. So I'm going for Arsenal in 6th. Top 5. 5th. Well, there's one team that's been linked with 5th now for 2-3 years, and that's Leicester. So I've gone Leicester. I think they have got enough to get the better of Arsenal, Tottenham, etc. But I don't think they've quite got enough to get into the top 4 unless something happens, such as what happened to Liverpool losing their defence last season. And to be honest, I think Leicester really should have got 4th last season. Maybe even 3rd, to be honest. They've done some very good signings. Patson Daka, from what I've heard and seen, looks very, very good. Samare, they bought him from Lille, is really good. And Brendan Rodgers, he's shown he can upset big teams. They beat City 5-2 last season. They beat them again in the Community Shield. They obviously upset Chelsea to win the FA Cup. So I think Leicester have got a very good team. And they are good to watch. So I honestly think that Leicester are going to get more Europa League football and will finish 5th in the Premier League this season. Top 4. Now, I have 4 teams left, and if you've seen who I said and haven't said, you'll work out probably that I have in order, alphabetically, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United. And I do not think that's the order it'll work out in. I think in 4th, and I'm probably going to get called a bias or shock or whatever here, I'm going Liverpool. I think Liverpool will be better than last season. They're going to have Van Dijk back, for one thing. I think Trent will be more like he was at the end of the season, rather than most of the season where I think he wasn't there really. But I think, is Robertson out for a while, I think, potentially, which could cause a problem. I also think Van Dijk could potentially take a little while to get going again. I can't remember if he played at the Euros, but even if he did, it was only a couple of matches. I think the Premier League, he'll still be a very, very good defender for Liverpool this season, but I could just see him taking a bit of time to get back to where he was. And I think that could have a bit of an effect on Liverpool's overall effect. I think one other thing is I think they need more support up top. They have a very good front three. Everyone knows that. Firmino, Salah and Mane. Jota's a very good backup. But then if one of them's injured and Jota comes in, I don't think they've got enough up top to act as a backup to that. And I think the midfield could do a bit more work as well. I mean, I would have said there's Shaqiri to play up top, but I believe he's leaving. So that is why I think Liverpool will be fourth. Third, I've gone for United. I think they haven't quite got enough to get past Chelsea and City yet. I think they're getting there. I know people say about Progress FC, but it does take time. Even Liverpool can see that with Jurgen Klopp. And people say about, oh, Ollie losing so many semi-finals, etc. I think Klopp lost like 6, 7 finals in a row before he won the Champions League with Liverpool. I think people are just too impatient, if I'm honest, or have an agenda against Ollie. Personally, I'm Ollie in, and I think that United have made some very good signings. I think Tom Heaton's a very good third choice keeper. I don't know how much he'll play, but he's still a really good signing on a free. But of course, the big two are Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. I think Varane is going to shore up that defence alongside Maguire like anything. I think it will also allow them to attack more progressively and won't need to focus on Fred and McTominay. People have said about Sancho threatening Greenwood. I don't think so. I think it'll provide another proper winger option on the right wing. Palistri's gone on loan. I think Diallo's going on loan. Also, he can play on the left. But I also think it's for the future because I think next summer, Cavani leaves, Greenwood becomes striker, Sancho on the right. All England attack, I think, potentially next season. Not the one I'm starting today, but next season with Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho. And that could only do good for England as well. So I think attacking, United have a very good selection, which is why I think they'll score a lot of goals and win games by just outscoring the opponent. I think they won't concede as many, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a good couple of 3-2s, maybe even 4-3s. So I think that's why I think they'll get third. I think they will just outscore their opponents because unlike Liverpool, I think they have the attacking backup. Although I do appreciate Varane may also take a little while to adapt to the Premier League. So yeah, Manchester United third. Second, well, obviously this is going to reveal who's first as well. And I think it's going to be really tight. I don't, not just between these two, I think the top four. I think even Leicester and fifth are going to be close. Closer than it has been. But I've gone for Man City to make it 2 titles in a row, which means second is Chelsea. I think Lukaku is a very good signing for them. I think they were missing a striker last season and he will do that. I think he'll suit better for Chelsea than he did United. I think the style of play. And he's proved he's still got it in Inter Milan. And I think that experience of winning a league is really going to do him good as well. I think overall he could be the big difference if Chelsea were to outdo Man City. But I think Man City just have too much to be done. Although I said it'd be much closer. I do think though that Chelsea may need a bit more defence sorts of options. I think they're after Jules Koundé though, which could provide a good backup in defence because Thiago Silva is a very good defender, but he is still 36. I think some of the faster attacking teams could catch him and cause problems, which is why I think they need another defensive option. Although I said they are after Koundé. But I just don't think Chelsea have quite enough to outdo Man City over a full season. A one-off game like the Champions League final, yes. A full 38-game season, not convinced. So that's why I've gone Chelsea for second. First, well, as I said, it's Man City. I don't like it, but I'd rather they win the league than Liverpool, if I'm honest. Although I'd like them to stop soon because they're starting to get quite a few now. But I think, obviously, they have a very, very good team to start with, even without any signings made this summer. I think Jack Grealish is a very good signing. 100 million, I don't think he's worth that much, but I think it's inevitable it's going to happen at some point. I do wonder how they're going to play, given Sterling tends to play on the left as well as Grealish, and obviously they have Foden. And then if they do bring Harry Kane in, that's also going to be an effect, because then do they play Grealish behind Harry Kane? Although I do think Harry Kane could give them the goals that they were missing from an actual forward. It used to be Aguero. Obviously, he didn't play as much last season. Jesus did get a few, but he's no Aguero. I think having that striker and actually someone to target in the box and Harry Kane, I think could make a big difference. And to be honest, I think if they sign Harry Kane, I think that it'll be a walkover in terms of they're not going to get... there'll be no doubt they'll win it. Obviously, unless they get a couple of Virgil van Dijk style injuries. Not I'm saying they should. Deliberately, anyway. Well, obviously they won't get injured, but you get my point. But yeah, I think there's just too much at Man City, and although it'll be close to this season, I think they will win the league and we'll get first. So Manchester City, unfortunately, Premier League champions for 2021-22. So they're my predictions for the season. What are yours? Do you agree with teams? Have I got some completely wrong? What do you think? I'd love to hear what you think, where you think teams will end up. Who do you think will win? Who do you think will get relegated? Could someone break into the top 4? That's what I want to know. But I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I just want to do something different. And as I said, I may do a update once the transfer window is complete. Because who knows? One signing... Harry Kane goes to Man City, it'll probably secure Man City first, but I think I might have to knock Tottenham down a bit unless they get a replacement, for example. Or it could really have an effect at the bottom. So yeah, but thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all that by now. But it's all much appreciated either way. But I'd say thank you for watching. I'm the UK Gamer, and I will catch you later because I need to go back to work soon.